I think the thing that was drawn to him was, first off, his energy, but his ability to see the world through so many lenses. He looks at everyone as the universe is bringing him somebody. And when he starts talking about the mural, whenever you hear him talk about the mural, it was his way of inspiring young artists, and then also watching as the community started biking by, talking. And if anyone knows Ron, he talks. But what he has done, I think, for deserving of this award is not only did he start with that, he lets things happen. And then from that, it was, hey, I have an idea. I don't know how many times I've sat with him and he's like, I have the best idea. I've got the idea. And his idea of art bikes. Art bikes was literally of, let's bring awareness. Let's bring people around the town. Let's show them the murals, the artists. Let's have the muralists paint matching bikes. And so many people, nobody takes chances. Nobody takes a chance. You think, oh, it's just an art bike. But what an art bike brought was community and people together. And his passion for this community, his passion for humanity, to listen to the stories of others and then tell them. Ron is an influencer. Ron is a storyteller. He is, when you hear him talk, you listen. He met with Hearts for Minds, which is an amazing organization, brought a mural here to Avondale. And if you ever go by there, he was so present during that mural painting, having people put their own handprints on the walls, talking to the community, which just deep, it's roots deep into our community. Then the passion with Amplified Avondale. It was a dream of all of ours to have music and then to elevate it with bringing music, art, people together, diversity, bringing that element in. And what we saw after just 1 year, his energy, his ability to connect with people, absolutely love him.
Hey, it's Ron Rothberg with Art Bikes Jax. We are so pleased to partner with RAP. We have a brand new app. It's the Art Bikes app. It takes some of the pages from RAP's website, the Architectural Gems, puts them all on a self-guided map. We loaded a bunch of stuff in here. You start your tour.
This is the RAP Ride. Riverside Avondale Preservation is our collaborative partner.
Gives you directions. And then once you arrive, audio triggers.
Closing in on one of the most remarkable homes in the neighborhood. The largest home in the neighborhood, 18,000 square feet.
So the app guides you and tells you a story when you get to the next locations. So we've loaded all kinds of information from the Architectural Gems, giving you directions and telling you a story when you arrive. The audio triggers fire when you arrive at a destination. It's basically a podcast on wheels.
You have arrived at the Parrot House.
And it's free and available for everyone. We'd love for you to ride on an art bike, but certainly anyone could ride your own bike or walk or drive and enjoy this great free app.
So I was really honored to be asked to do this because Hugh Shang has been a friend for 30 years, ever since we opened Biscotti's. And I was just awestruck by him because he'd been here since 1977. So when I met him, he'd already been in business 16 years. And his claim to fame is that he's the longest running continuous owner of a store in Avondale. He was the calm in the storm. He was a mentor. He loved Avondale. And this was his life. The store, the people. I used to come over here sometimes twice a week between shifts at the restaurant, and he's so calm, you know. He sits you down, and even if you're around him, you can feel his calmness, his demeanor. He was on the board on the Merchants Association board since the very beginning, and sometimes those meetings can get a little contentious, and he would say something, and all of a sudden the tone in the room would go down. and people would listen to what he had to say, and it kind of changed the whole trajectory of the meeting. And he loved standing out here talking to people. His Nutcracker collection every Christmas. He's a legacy, an icon. He knew everybody. I found a quote that he had with an interview with the Florida Times Union that was talking about the legacy of Avondale Riverside. And this is just the last paragraph, so I'm going to read it. The interviewer he said, he looked around his shop, overflowing with colorful oriental rugs, vases, figurines, and artwork, like Aladdin's cave. I've been here, so I still know this is one of a kind. I love what I do. This is not a loaf of bread. It is art. I enjoy art. I enjoy people. I love Avondale. And I think that kind of says it all. He will be missed. He'll be gone, but not forgotten. Hopefully ever.
Goodell, 47 years ago, actually bought a small slice of the big city and forward fashions, not only to Five Points, but to the whole Jacksonville area. It was really before, back then you didn't see the designers availability like you do now within Jacksonville. And I think she really was a trendsetter. She really has people follow her by example. And she's been a very strong advocate for other small businesses along Five Points, giving counsel and helping them learn the ropes of their small business. She participates in just about every group that there is in the neighborhoods, whether it's the Five Points Merchant Society or Riverside Avondale Preservation, or she's very involved in the arts. So, you know, she has a lot of contacts and she has a considerable fan base throughout Five Points, but throughout Jacksonville. My daughter told me, we have to buy this place. We won't have anywhere to shop because there's just no place like it in Jacksonville or even the surrounding communities. So what has just truly amazed me in working with her as we were preparing to take over the shop is that she has individuals that walk in the door, and it could be the individual that's shopping for themselves or perhaps a gentleman that's shopping for his wife or girlfriend, and she can look at them and size them up and pick out the perfect outfit for them. You know, she can cater to the quirky, to the conservative, to the whimsical. So she just is the world just needs more Ganells. That's just all I can say.
Mike Shad, owner of the Five Points Theater Building, is a trailblazer and an anchor to the Five Points merchant area and neighborhood at large. In 2004, Mike and his son Jack spearheaded the renovation of the Five Points Theater Building, which was originally built in 1927 by the Wade Investment Company and designed by Roy Benjamin. Covered in stucco from a 1970s design, the Mike Shad Company spent 4 years working with Ken Smith, one of the foremost preservation architects in the area. They removed the exterior coating to once again expose the Gothic Revival exterior in brick veneer encased underneath. Once the stucco was removed, Mike had the building designated as a local landmark so it would remain protected in the future. The renovation inspired business clients in the district and started the upscale refurbishing of many shops and restaurants. Mike's involvement in the Merchant Association facilitated the new brick sidewalks and town center design of Five Points, funded in part by the city of Jacksonville and also other property owners. The Five Points Theater Building is a small business incubator, maintaining relationships with key businesses such as Brew Five Points and Sunray Cinema. Often called Special Forces, one wonders if Mike's service as a Green Beret in the Vietnam War gave him the technical skills to accomplish so much for our neighborhood with just one property. Thank you to Mike Shad.
Over a decade ago, we got back with Riverside Avondale Preservation, and we worked on some of our standards to look at how we could better trim and take care of the trees while they're around our power lines. So we need to balance the safety and reliability with the aesthetics of the neighborhood. And we know how trees are important to the city and certainly to the people of Riverside and Avondale. We have on board, we have arborists that go along with our contractor crews to make sure that they are doing everything they need to do to keep the canopy in good shape and make sure that they're only removing what they need to remove to keep that reliability in the area and the safety of the residents.
Projects.
Sure. So over the years, I've worked with Riverside Avondale Preservation on many projects. They are a wonderful resource for me as a project manager to be able to go to people that understand the area, get their input in the design process, implement that into construction, and just when we're done, see that we've done everything that benefits the community. It looks good. We've got safe and reliable service, and the community looks even better than when we got there. So everyone wins. It's a great honor for us to receive the award from Riverside Avondale Preservation. I've been working with them for over 25 years. So to receive this award from such a great organization and a great community, that means a lot to everybody that works for JEA because it's a team effort. Certainly my team, the arborist team, and all the JEA employees that work every day in this neighborhood and every neighborhood. We appreciate it so much, the recognition.
It is not unusual to see early visitors to the Riverside Arts Market who begin to shop ahead of the market's 10 a.m. opening time. No one arrives earlier than Frank Widener. Setting up the market is no simple task. Frank arrives well before dawn every Saturday morning to ensure the space beneath the Fuller Warren Bridge is ready for the day's vendors and visitors. A lifelong Jacksonville resident, Frank has spent the past 60 years residing in Avondale and worked 30 years in the title insurance industry before becoming part of RAM's specialized support team. During the week, Frank can be found spending time with his family, bicycling through the neighborhood he loves, or taking a quick fishing trip. But on Saturday mornings, Frank diligently hangs banners, installs signage, places picnic tables, and transforms a mere parking lot into a place where small businesses thrive. Every afternoon, he expertly repeats the process in reverse, returning the space to parking lot status and storing all the equipment to do it all again next week. Visit to Riverside Arts Market is not complete without taking a moment to enjoy performances on the River Stage. And every performance begins with one person, Roy Peak. Over the past 15 years, Roy has provided sound support for musicians, dance teams, DJs, and more, only missing 2 Saturdays between RAM's opening day and the 2020 COVID pandemic. Originally from Kentucky, Roy moved to the Jacksonville's Murray Hill neighborhood after graduating high school and became immersed in the music scene. A talented musician himself, Roy has played and toured with several bands over the years. He has released 3 solo albums with a 4th due this year. In addition to running the River Stage, Roy runs his own recording studio and has recorded nearly 100 albums for a diverse group of artists ranging from acoustic folk to blues to hardcore punk rock. Through his commitment to making River Stage programming a fun experience for audience and performer alike, Roy embodies RAM's mission to promote the performing arts.
This lively interior remodel is very well done. It's charming and vibrant, but also cleverly adds intimacy to what could have been a cave-like space. The most noticeable element is the hanging garland ceiling installation. It adds color and scale to the room while preserving views of the original roof structure of the building. The garland is complemented by festive lighting and well-crafted Day of the Dead chandeliers. The restaurant incorporates many art installations which add to the cultural variety of the neighborhood. They include murals and neon pieces which celebrate Mexican culture and cuisine. The furnishings and interior plants also make for an intimate dining experience. The balance of the interior finishes, including nicely detailed wooden booths and tiled walls, add to the charm of the experience. The jury commented, "It's wonderful to see a creative interior remodel at this important intersection in the neighborhood, and on top of that, the food is delicious too. Congratulations to Don Eduardo Cocina Mexicana, and if you haven't tried them yet, take a walk across the street and check them out."
This project is a good example of the diligence and patience needed to restore the older buildings in our historic district. Contractor Michael Rowan of Celtic Constructive Solutions started work on this rehabilitation before the pandemic began. The structure had been used as both an office and a home during different periods of its history, but there had never been any upgrades to the major systems in the house. When Michael acquired the structure, everything needed to be done. It had the original knob and tube wiring, galvanized and cast iron plumbing, and an old roof. The interior was also in poor condition with lath and plaster falling off the walls. Their work addressed those issues and much more. The exterior restoration included repairing the existing cedar siding, wood trim, and wood windows. Michael's team removed existing unhistoric aluminum windows and replaced them with appropriate matching new windows. They restored all the original wood windows by stripping the paint, sanding and repairing the sashes, and reglazing the windows. He is proud they were able to accomplish this with their own forces. The interior needed a complete rebuild. They installed a new drywall, insulation, and trim, milled to match the original trim. They replaced the mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems and refinished the existing floors. The kitchen and dining area was expanded, and they were able to include a laundry room, pantry, and additional closets. This project is an example of the extensive effort rehabilitation requires. It took a considerable amount of time, money, and hard work. The result is a quality project worthy of recognition. The jury commented that the owner took this classic prairie-style home and maintained and enhanced its character. It was a thorough restoration that preserved the street presence and protected the original appeal. According to Michael, the project was a labor of love, and the more we dug into the home, the more we were determined not to let it beat us. Our goal was to keep everything as it was, insofar as we could. As you can see from the photos, they accomplished their goal. Congratulations to Michael Rowan and Celtic Construction Solutions.
This newly built craftsman-style home does a good job of blending a relatively large home with its one-story neighbors on Boone Park Avenue. The design utilizes traditional craftsman-style components and detailing, including an inviting front porch with tapered columns. The home sits high off-grade and incorporates an attractive brick skirt and cheek walls into the porch design, which adds texture and scale. The home also uses dormers in a traditional window style to blend into the setting. The large side-facing gable is a traditional bungalow form and works well at this location. The home utilizes a simple, clean color palette, and the interior is open but maintains a traditional character, further contributing to the home's quality. The jury also appreciated that the builder took care to preserve the mature live oak in the front yard, as it's very valuable to the streetscape. Congratulations to Bold City Properties and Atomic Garden, LLC.
The rehabilitation of the house and grounds at 3730 Richmond Street is likely the most significant residential rehabilitation project since the designation of the historic district in 1996. The house, designed by Marsh and Saxelby in 1928, has long been known as the Lane House, after its original owners, Edward and Anne Lane. According to the architectural historian Wayne Wood, this outstanding riverfront mansion is the epitome of Tudor Revival design in Jacksonville, and the exterior of the house is a compendium of Tudor Revival architectural detail. The house and grounds were placed on the U.S. National Register of Historic Places by Betsy Towers in 1982, who had lived in the home at one time. The home is a celebration of craftsmanship in carpentry, stone, and masonry. It incorporates Tudor half-timbering, leaded glass windows, a slate roof, ornamental cast stone, and intricate brick masonry construction, which is both structural and decorative. This exceptional property was fortunate to come under the stewardship of John and Yvonne Hove in 2012, who lovingly renamed it the Hove Hall. They enlisted Doug Lane of the Lane Group to guide a complete restoration of the property. The first step was to remove and safely store all existing materials and trim, which could be restored and reused. The house was then completely gutted to allow for a total rehabilitation. The work started from the ground up with new foundation waterproofing on both the interior and exterior of the house. The house was reinforced throughout with extensive improvements to the structural system, and all new mechanical, electrical, and plumbing systems were installed. The original slate roofing was removed piece by piece, cleaned, and stored. New waterproofing was installed, and the original slate tiles were replaced. The original leaded glass windows and brass hardware were completely restored by Mr. Hove's own forces. New windows required for the project were purchased from the original English manufacturer, Crittall, and were fabricated to perfectly match the original products. The cast stone detailing, both interior and exterior, were also restored. Where new stone was necessary, exact replicas were fabricated. This included a total reconstruction of the riverfront bulkhead and balustrades. A complete reconstruction of the garden wall and cast iron railings was also undertaken. The interior finishes were restored, and new finishes were thoughtfully selected to enhance the architecture. Additions were also made to this structure to include a porte-cochere, a garden folly, a conservatory, garage expansion, and pool pavilion. All new work used materials and products replicating the original design. We are pleased to present an award of distinction for rehabilitation to John Hove, his late wife Yvonne, the Lane Group, and their entire team for their excellent and tireless work on this exceptional rehabilitation. We specifically want to thank Tamara Baker with the Baker Engineering, Joe Madden with Madden Millworks, James Malenfant with Precast and Restoration Services, Daniel Boone with Boone Flooring, Mike Bergeron with Mike's Marble Incorporated, Kevin Doherty with Southeastern Subcontractors Incorporated, Howard Stalls, EAC, with Environmental Air Conditioning Systems, Suzanne Berglund, Peter Laughlin with Copper Works Gutters, Bill Brader with Cash Builders, and Crittall Windows.